Don't be tripping, it's just flipping. Welcome back, you guys. Today I'm gonna go over how I clean shoes. Shoes are definitely one of my favorite things to pick up to flip online for a profit. There's so many different ways you can clean shoes. I'm gonna show you how I do it to get them prepped and ready to be photographed. I do use a light box, probably my favorite investment that we have towards our reselling business. It just makes everything look so much more professional, so much cleaner. The pictures are just chef's kiss, you guys. They turn out beautifully. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, welcome to my kitchen floor. It's nice and clean, but this is where I do take all the shoes out and I'll get them ready. I am part content creator. I do have to take a couple photos for my Facebook page. Go ahead and give me a follow over on Facebook. I consistently post several times throughout the day, and yeah, I love it over there on Facebook. They're definitely a great community. If you're not a part of that community yet, go ahead and join, and yeah, let's get these shoes out. So guys, we found these. Today was pink tag, so they were buy one get one free. These are Skechers. This type of style Skecher does really well for me. Pink tag was buy one get one free. So these have a tag of $15 on them. And then my husband ended up finding these. These are Doc Martens. Steel toe Doc Martens, you guys. They're in beautiful condition. 25 bucks. So the shoes were buy one get one. Of course, you have to pay the higher price, so we paid $25 for the two, so $12.50 each, which isn't bad at all. First things first, I'm gonna get all the shoes laid out just so I know where I need to start and what cleaning supplies I need to have out. I'll have a trash bag. Here's some from Goodwill. My recent thrift video shows these shoes. These are, I believe, Madewells. I paid $14.99 for them. I paid $14.99 for these at a Goodwill in Port Orange, Florida. Definitely paid up for them, but they do sell around 60 bucks. Found these this week. These are from a small town thrift store about 30 minutes from here. My husband has a doctor's appointment, you know, every few months, so we always make a stop at this thrift store. And I ended up finding these dingo boots. Paid 5 bucks for them. Of course, you can see I line them up beautifully. This is for my Facebook friends. All of these are from Goodwill, I believe. I wait until I get a few shoes accumulated, and then I go through and photograph them. So these were the Ariat boots. If you watched one of my thrift haul videos, you've seen that I picked these up. New with tags, $6.99. And then these are actually my husband's. These are Skechers, but $4.99. Not bad. We'll set them to the side. Sorel shoes. These were $4.99. So that's the difference between our stores and the ones in Florida. $14.99. Alrighty guys, my mic died on me, so this is future Natalie talking to you. I'm going to go over the rest of the shoes that I picked up this week to flip online for a profit. These are men's Cole Haan loafers. I paid $4.99 for them, and they'll sell between 30 to 35 bucks. Another brand I like picking up is SAS, which is San Antonio Shoemakers. It's a brand that's known for its quality and comfort when it comes to shoes. The women's do really well for me. This next brand is a new one to me. It's Twisted. I picked these up because they were $3, and the comps look pretty decent on them. They are women's loafers, so I'll let you guys know what they sell for. These last two are a brand that I've sold before. It's lugs, but I usually sell boots, so I'm taking a chance on the shoes or tennis shoe style type lugs. They are in pretty good condition, so I should get around 30 to 35 bucks for them. After I get all the shoes out and lined up, I usually take a picture for my Facebook group so they can see what brands I'm picking up throughout the week. But now I'm going to show you how I clean them. Alrighty guys, this is pretty much everything that I use to clean shoes. The first thing that I always use is Goo Gone. This is great for cleaning up the outer soles of the shoes. Overall, it's my #1 go-to. If you plan on picking up leather boots, you're going to want to have a good leather cleaner. And then I also use alcohol or rubbing alcohol. This is great for whenever the thrift store marks on the bottom of the shoes. It works most of the time, and when it doesn't, I do use fingernail polish remover. That's my second go-to for getting permanent marker off. I love using these sneak erasers, especially on Crocs. They just don't fall apart as easily as magic erasers do. They do eventually fall apart, but when it comes to cleaning shoes, I prefer these over magic erasers. You're also going to need a lint roller, especially if you pick up Converse, and a good pair of scissors. If a pair of shoes has staining, I will spray them with Shout. Throw them in the washer and let them air dry. It's best in the summertime because they could just sit in the sunlight and dry. In the winter, they do take hours to dry. But this is what I like to use. It works a majority of the time. I love using it. I guess started on my floor, but it's kind of where I like to clean shoes. I'm only 32, so I can get up and down off the floor pretty easily. If you can't, find somewhere that's nice and comfortable for you to clean. And yeah, let's get to it. most of these, I'm just going to have to take the stickers off. This sticker is a pain in my butt already. $14.99. These are Miguel loafers. As you can tell, these are in pristine condition. I'm not even going to have to wipe them down with anything. Same thing with these. They don't even have the price tag on them, so we're going to set them to the side. They are ready to go. These lugs are in pretty good condition. Don't need to wash them. They basically look brand new. I'm just going to undo the ties here and stuff them inside the shoe. That is how I like to photograph them, so I'm going to go ahead and prep them. And even the outer white parts look pretty good. I'm going to take a little bit of Goo Gone. My most used when it comes to cleaning shoes is Goo Gone. And I'm just literally going to scrub. Here's the thing, you guys. The bottom of the shoes, I don't do a lot to them. Most of the time it comes off with washing, so if they do need washed, or if the bottoms are really terrible, I will wash them. But most of the time, I just use a little bit of Goo Gone. So yeah, I just, again, we'll go ahead and scrub them down. That looks good to me. And we're going to get them photographed. So we'll move them down the line. These, I mean, practically new. I mean, look at the bottoms. I don't even think they wore these outside but one time. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do these too. These don't even need wiped down either. Even the outer parts of the sole that usually get dirty don't even look like they were worn. So those are the types of shoes I like picking up. Alright, these are Kohans. These, you can tell, really good condition. And I'm just going to wipe them down with my rag that has a little bit of Goo Gone on it. You don't need much at all. And nice and shiny. Same thing. Just make them look really nice and clean. I make them look as nice as I would buy them. So if they look nice enough where I would buy them, heck, they're good to me. These SAS tri-pack shoes, same thing, very minimal cleaning. Always be easy taking those stickers off, you guys. SAS tri-pack, same thing. I use a little bit of Goo Gone. I've not had any issues with the Goo Gone affecting the types of shoes like this. Let me know in the comments if you use something else. But yeah, this usually works great for me. And the bottoms don't require much work at all. Those are the types of shoes, again, I like picking up. I'll show you guys something I did pick up that I'm probably going to start spraying inside the shoes that will help sanitize them, so hang tight. If you had a smoker in your house growing up, you probably remember this, Ozium. Now this is an air sanitizer, so it cleans the air you breathe and eliminates odors. So I'm going to use that on some of these shoes so I can sanitize the inside of them. But yeah, it's just a spray. And it smells like a new car smell. That's what it smells like. So that's what the shoes, the inside of them, I'll lightly spray that in there. And so before they sell, they'll smell pretty good and they'll be sanitized. These Sorels are super cool. Definitely going to wipe down. And then I'm going to show you a trick I use. I don't know if you can see some of that creasing in the back. I'm going to show you how I take care of that. Here's another tool that I like to use. So this works great if you have any creasing on shoes. So it's a heat gun. This one's 150 watt. We got ours from Harbor Freight, but I do have it linked on my Amazon storefront if you don't have a Harbor Freight in your area. But you can look at other brands too. This is just one that I got a good deal on. And yeah, we're going to use it. I don't have to use it often, but when I do, it comes in handy. Just plug it in. Alright guys, so right here you can tell these shoes have a little bit of creasing. And very lightly, you don't have to go over it much at all. So there's a piece right there. It does have different speeds, so you can go higher, lower. Be careful not to leave it there for too long. because you will catch it on fire. There we go. They look pretty good. I'm just going to wipe them down with some Goo Gone. And I try not to get the Goo Gone on the actual suede. Do not get it on the fabric. Do not get Goo Gone on there. It takes forever to dry, and sometimes it can stain it. So just be very careful. That's why I put very little on my rag whenever I'm using this. I use a little elbow grease. I could use my sneak erasers with it, but a rag, I just prefer a rag because it's a little bit more abrasive. Okay guys, I'm going to use one of the sneak erasers just because there's a tough spot on here. So these are similar to a magic eraser, except whenever you're doing it on the soles or outer soles of the shoe, it doesn't break into pieces as easily as a magic eraser does. But I love using it for any tough spots that the Goo Gone just won't get off. The orange part is more abrasive than the actual eraser part. Yeah, looks good. The bottoms of these, let me just touch up with this. And then I'm going to take the Osium. Literally not much at all. And then I'll tie these up. And then those are ready to be photographed. This next pair is not going to require any work at all, besides me tucking in the laces. I just think the pictures of the shoes look better with the laces tucked in and out of the way. And then I'll probably stuff one of my little pool noodles in there. Let's take this little sticker off. See? Got one little piece right there of something. A little Goo Gone. Just like that. And those are ready to go. Great thing about these Ariat boots, they're new with tags. Alright, so these are pretty good condition. Somehow white paint got on the front of there. So let's see if we can get that off. So I paid $6.99 for these. And we'll see if this white paint will come off here. Right here on the toe. We'll try a couple things. So it comes off on the boot itself with the Goo Gone. But the actual part, black part, comes off with a sneak eraser. Yeah, with a sneak eraser. Perfect. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish wiping these up a little bit. Even though they are new with tags, they still have, you know, just thrift store stuff on them. I'm just going to use the sneak eraser to go around them. And I'm not going to state these as new with tags whenever I list them, just because of the bottom. So wherever they were stored, it looks like somewhere with paint. And there's just a little bit of paint residue at the bottom. There's no way I'm going to be able to get that off, or even attempt to get it off. So I'm just going to wipe these off. The boot itself is in excellent condition, new condition. The bottoms have paint on them, and yeah, I'm not going to do that. Next up, these are Dingo boots. They're in great condition. I'm just going to zip them up. They don't even need to wipe down. Not bad for $5. They do have a little bit of pilling, like on the inside. Not much you can do for that. I didn't notice that till after I bought them. So, still make mistakes even after a few years doing it, but I probably still would have picked them up for $5, even with that on there. Skechers. These are in amazing condition. Just gonna cut this pink tag off. Tuck in the laces. And ready to go. Give them a little spritz with the sanitizer spray. That's something new I started doing with the little sanitizer. Just something a little extra to make sure that there's no kind of bacteria growing in there. Doc Martens, $12.50 for these, you guys. Come on now. They sell for over $100. These sold in 6 days on Poshmark for $110. These are in excellent condition too. I'm not going to add any leather cleaner or anything to them. But yeah, they look pretty good. They're all cleaned up now, so it's time to photograph them, and then I'll sit down throughout the week and I will list a couple of them. I'll probably list about 5 at a time, so these will be listed in the next couple of days. But let's go. I'm going to show you how I photograph these. Alright guys, first things first, we need to turn on the light. The first ones I'm going to photograph are these Doc Martens. So those are the first ones. I use a light box, so this is what I use, but if you're just starting out, I'll show you what we did in the beginning. I'll show you what we did when we first started reselling. As you can tell, we have these whiteboards here. This, and then just like that. You don't need a fancy light box. It is one of my favorite investments when it comes to reselling in general. Anything that we put in that light box, the light just makes it look so much more professional. So yeah, let's put it back up. Plug it in. And the good thing about this one is there's different light settings. One that works better for you. We like ours at the brightest setting. But yeah, you can tell it does kind of different settings. But yeah, this is the first pair in. Always make sure you're taking your photos in square mode, so you're going to click that down arrow, hit 4:3, and click square. Every platform prefers your photos to be in square mode. It just makes sure that they're not cut off when somebody's scrolling and searching for an item to purchase. When it comes to larger items like these boots, I do have to back up just a little bit, but I do end up cropping out all the excess so you don't see any of the sides of the light box. When you're taking photos of shoes, you want to make sure you're getting every angle. When photographing, I like to get all angles, so I get a front shot. I do like to come in to the top of the boots, especially if they show some wear, to make sure I picture that. You want to make sure the buyers know exactly what they're getting. I also like doing a side shot, and then I will also take a picture of the back of the shoes. Whenever I'm picturing heels, I do like to measure the heel, so keep that in mind. Make sure you get the size tag and, of course, the bottom of the shoes. Whenever I was cleaning these Doc Martens, I didn't notice that the thrift store wrote on the bottom of the shoes with permanent marker. You guys, we're going to have to get that off, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. There are several things we're going to try because it doesn't always come off with the first option. It really depends on the type of material that the bottom of the shoe is. So the first one I'm going to try is a dry erase marker. This is probably the most common, and it does work on a lot of shoes, but not all of them. You simply just color over the permanent marker with the dry erase marker and then try to wipe it off. You can use a rag or a paper towel, really whatever works best, but as you could tell, this option did not work, so we're going to have to try something else. My second go-to, like I said in the beginning of the video, is rubbing alcohol, so let's give that a try. I simply just put a little bit on a rag, and then you just go ahead and try to rub it off. Now, this does work a lot of the time too. It just depends on the type of shoe, but it's not working on these Doc Martens, so I'm gonna have to try something else. I did like how the rubbing alcohol was making the bottom of the shoes shiny, so I did go ahead and rub down the bottom of the shoes with the rubbing alcohol, and it looked 100 times better. So, hey, sometimes you learn something whenever something doesn't work out. Next up, I tried Goo Gone. That's also one of my favorites to use, and probably the most common that I use, but this one also did not work. I wanted to go ahead and give the sneak eraser a try just to see if it would work, and it also did not work. So this was a stubborn permanent marker. I started to lose all hope and figured I would just mark over it with permanent marker, because when in doubt, that's what I do. If I cannot get the permanent marker off, I will just mark over it. But you guys, I did find something that worked. I purchased this professional nail polish remover a couple months ago, and you guys, we're going to give it a try, and it definitely works. So keep that in mind if you have Doc Martens that have permanent marker written on the bottom. I tried everything else before this, and this is the only thing that worked. It was actually surprising that all the other options before this didn't work. But yeah, this is something also good to have on hand. I bought this from Walmart a couple months ago. I think I paid $3 or $4 for it, so it's not bad at all. And it definitely does work. That's my process for every single pair of shoes. So tracking where they're at in my inventory, I do the same thing that I do with clothing. I will put in the custom SKU line where they're located, when we picked them up, or the date that we picked them up, and how much we paid for them. So this is how I keep track of that. This is how I track it, just like I do the clothing. I write the date that I photograph them. I write what the item is and where it's going to be located. These are going to be in a shoe box. I do keep all my shoes in boxes. As they empty out, I refill them, and I will put where they're located. We store all of our shoes in boxes in our attic. We are working on getting it more organized, but all my shoes are in this little corner. As you can tell, the boots I just set on top of the boxes just because they're easy to grab. We're going to grab the Doc Martens because those have sold for $110 on Poshmark. But this is how I store my boxes. The attic is organized chaos. We are working on getting it more organized, but you guys, this is what we have for now. Most of our inventory is stored in our storage unit in totes, so it's much more organized, but we do utilize our attic. In the future, we plan to have our own storage shed in the backyard, and that's where we will store everything. But until then, this is what we're doing. Don't be tripping, it's just flipping.